everyone, welcome to my channel. Welcome to Blessed Maths channel. The topic we are going to be looking into today is rounding, and the subtopic is rounding to the nearest 10, 100 and 1000. When rounding any number, always show the unrounded answer before rounding. When rounding, it is only the number to the right of the number being rounded that we consider. If that number is 5 or more, then the number is being rounded up. If it is less than 5, the number is being rounded down. Let's move on to the example I have here. So guys, this is the example we have here. So here it said round the following to the nearest 10. So we have 67. And since when rounding, it is only the number to the right of the number being rounded that we consider. So this is the number to the right of the number that we are rounding here, so which is 7, and 7 is a round up number because it is 5 or more. So this turns to 0. We add 1, which makes it 70. So the rounded number of this 67 is 70 if we round it to the nearest 10. We are moving on to 532. So we need to round this up to the nearest 10. So this is the right number. It is less than 5, so it's a round down number. So this will remain 0. We are not adding 1 because it's not a round up number. And so this becomes 530. Move on to the last one we have here. We have 895. So this might be tricky for some and this might not be tricky for some. So since this is a round up number, which is 5, to turn to 0 and we add 1 to 9, now it becomes 10. 5 will turn to 0 and we add 1 to 9 will become 10, and we'll turn the 10 to 0 and we add 1 to 9, which will give us 900 pounds. So we have 890 plus. So this turns to 900, so which makes it 900 pounds. Let's move on to the next exercise we have here. So I want you guys to pause the video, solve and check your answers. So I'm going to give you guys 3 seconds to pause this video. 1, 2, 3. So I believe you have paused this video and you came to check if your answers are right or not. So if you got any of the answer right, give yourself a tick, and if you didn't get it right, give yourself this. So let's move on to A. So A, we have 41 and you need to round it up to the nearest 10. So this is a round down number, so this is 40. B is 10 because 8 is a round up number, and if we turn this one to 0 and we have 1 here to be 10. So 62 is 60. 856 is 860. 21 is 20. 53 pounds is 50 pounds. 587 centimeter is 590 centimeter. So for every answer you got right, give yourself a tick, and for any answer you got wrong, give yourself this. Let's move on to rounding to nearest 100. So guys, let's move on to rounding to the nearest 100. So we have 680. We have units, tens and 100. And we're rounding to the nearest 100. So this is the number we're going to focus on because it's the number beside the unit we are focusing on. So this is 8. 8 is a round up number, so that's going to be 700 because with this one turns to 0, we add 1 to 6, it turns to 700. Let's move on to 220. So 220, we are focusing on this number. So this number is a round down number, so it's going to be 200 if we're rounding it up to the nearest 100. And this one is 951 pounds. This return to 1,000 pounds because this is a round up number. So I've given you guys an exercise to do. So pause the video, solve, and check your answers. So I'll give you guys 3 seconds to pause the video. 1, 2, 3. So time for me to solve these questions for you, so you guys can check if your answers are correct. So for this one we have 800 pounds. For this one we have 600 kg. For this one we have so if this one goes, for this one we have 1,100. So for this one we have 1,100 because 75 is a round up number. So we add 1 to 0, which will become 1, and the rest return to 0 at the end of 1. So that will be 1,100. So because this one is a round up number, turns to 0, but we add 1 to 0, that will be 1,100 because these two return to 0. Let's move on to rounding to the nearest thousand. But before that, I want you guys to check your answers. If they are correct, give yourself a tick if you got them right, and give yourself this if you got some wrong. Let's move on to rounding to the nearest thousand. So guys, we're moving on to rounding to the nearest thousand. So I round up to the nearest 1,000, and for the example, firstly we have 5,620. So guys, we're moving on to round the following to the nearest thousand. So this is 5,620. So this is the unit we are focusing on. So this turns to 0 and we add 1 to 5. So this will be 6,000. We're moving on to B. So we have 2,500. This will turn to 3,000 because this is 5, is a round up number, and we add this will turn to 0 and we add 1 to 2, which will make it 3. This will be 1,000 because this is a round down number. So this is a round down number, so this will turn to 0 and we're not adding any 1 to anywhere, so it will turn to 1,000. So this is the exercise I've given to you guys. So I want you guys to round this to the following to the nearest thousand, and pause the video, solve these questions, and check your answers. So I'm going to give you guys 3 seconds to pause the video. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. So I believe as you're watching this, you want to check the answers to mark what you've got. So this is 1,570. This return to 2,000. This return to 2,000. This return to 1,000 because this is 9. As you want to round it up to the nearest thousand, but even looking at it, you will know that the nearest thousand to 900 is 1,000. But since we are calculating it, this is mathematics, we have to calculate it. So this is 9. 9 is a round up number, and so the 9 turns to 0 and we add 1, so that will be 1,000. So like this turns to 0 and we add 1, so that's 1,000. Like I always say, the number behind the number you are focusing on all turns to 0, and the number here add 1 or stays the same. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. So give yourself a tick if you got it right, and give yourself this if you got it wrong. Thank you guys for watching this video to the end. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Bye.